The Diablo 4 gameplay trailer, released earlier, has done a good job highlighting aspects for which we have not seen fully fleshed out as of yet, as well as dropping more hints and video footage of the endgame information to all the hungry masses. The main focus was on variety and accessibility. It's clear the developers and Blizzard as a whole want to try and reach out to as many people as possible. Whether you're an OG Diablo player or someone just getting into the series, the goal is to appeal to all. Changing up the formula to a more MMO light route has really opened up these options for them, and if the amount of content on offer is truly as much as they're hinting at, then we will likely see that they'll have success here. Beyond the main storyline, players have on offer Nightmare Dungeons, Helltide Events, the Tree of Whispered Bounties, Open World Events, World Bosses, and the Fields of Hatred. Regarding Nightmare Dungeons, these will be unlocked by beating capstone dungeons per difficulty tier. This is a way for them to gate content behind a power level and player skill level. This is a good idea because it makes sure that adventurers are prepared and they know when they're ready to upgrade their dungeon difficulty. The developers went over much of what we already know, but to recap, Nightmare Dungeons, much like Mythic Dungeons from WoW, are based on sigils, which have varying levels that you can create. Each successive tier implements affixes and increases the monster difficulty to scale content as you get more powerful. The particular affix which really caught my eye in the footage was the blood portals, where you see elites and random monsters being thrown at players which are not native to that specific dungeon. I like this, and I believe it'll add variety to dungeons even if their layouts remain static. Events and how they played in the beta were largely passive and kind of an on-the-way activity, and I did not focus on them too much. However, with the introduction of Helltide zones, it would appear that they're trying to make them more worth your while. The footage of the events looked interesting, seeing the world get twisted and more reminiscent of a hellscape as demons invade Sanctuary and you must stave them off. The rewards from this activity are much like the rewards from PvP zones. You get essentially tokens, which in this case you unlock chests with, and those will provide you gear and riches. I think this is a cool addition, and it's something that'll spice up the open world a bit. And to tie the world of Diablo 4 together more with the interweaving bosses, events, they're also including the Tree of Whisper Bounties. The bounties will have you gallivanting across Sanctuary to appease the tree and what it seeks. I think this is a cool addition and creates a push for players to explore more and travel across the world, rather than focusing on instant dungeons or specific regions only. I love the aesthetic of this tree with all the heads, and in combination with the showcase of the visuals of the last world boss that we got, it's very much so got me excited, and I'm loving the world building thus far. Like, this boss looks awesome. And finally, most importantly, the Fields of Hatred have gotten some attention as the developers are now speaking about it in plural. There'll be multiple zones in the world which are PvP flagged, and this is probably the most exciting aspect for me. PvP has really been some of the most fun and engaging content in my opinion, and it's great to see that even though it's not the main focus, things are looking like they're going to include it in the endgame loot. Within these zones, you will slay monsters, complete events, and eventually try to cash out with your currency. However, other players can see you when you do this, much like the WoW PvP player marking system. This will inevitably lead to battles between you and other adventurers, and the way the footage is looking thus far really seems decent. I won't go as far to say it's balanced, as we don't know what the endgame builds will look like, but at least the footage is not one-shots, and there seems to be some sort of level of interplay and back and forth. Overall, seeing PvP intertwined with the endgame progression has really got me even more excited for Diablo 4. This wraps up the footage and highlights. What did you find most interesting? What are you most excited for? Leave a comment below and like this video if you want to talk about it. Subscribe for more content and coverage of Diablo 4, and have a good one, buds.